Matt Stepp with Dave Campbell's Texas Football back here at the 2023 Texas High School Coaches Association and Convention in beautiful Houston, Texas. It's a little toasty, but, it is what it is. And we're here with the head coach of those Killeen Shoemaker Gray Wolves, Coach Toby Foreman. Coach, appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with us.
No, thank you for doing this. You know how I feel about this interview every year.
We'll talk about that right off the top here in a minute. First off, do y'all prefer Wolves or Gray Wolves? Because I've seen both.
Gray Wolves.
You like the Gray Wolves?
I like the Gray Wolves.
It gives a little uniqueness to it, right?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of stuff that I put just Wolves on. We make sure we put either shoe or Gray Wolves.
Yeah.
And then we got the pack lately. We got the pack. It's like Nevada's logo, except it's got 4 stars because our namesake was a 4-star general.
Okay, very cool.
So in the bottom part of that pack, there's 4 stars in there.
I like it. I like it. All right, now, Coach, you mentioned our interview. We're trying to make this a tradition. And we love talking to you anytime we can chat with you. But why is it important for you to sit here and chat with not Tepper but me?
So it's got to be you, and it's got to be a coaching school. So this is the 4th time that we've sat down and talked, and in 5 years. Well, the 1 year that we didn't make the playoffs. So it's was
that the COVID year?
It was no, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was just I just couldn't get in. You had asked me, and I just couldn't get in. So it's like it's the Matt Stepp curse. If I don't get interviewed at coaching school, we are not going to the playoffs, and it's for certain. It doesn't matter what we do in the offseason. Doesn't matter how good of a game plan we put together.
It's clearly me, Coach. It's clearly me.
It's like the Madden curse if you get on the cover of the player.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to get it done. So let's talk about your ball club heading into 2023. And I think the word for me that when I see you guys is excitement and potential. I think you guys have the potential to have a really, really good 2023 season, and there's a lot of talent and a lot of excitement. Would you agree that with what you guys have coming back, there's a little bit of buzz around the community?
I'm excited. I'm excited. I know the kids are excited, and our community is excited. But, you still got to go out there and perform. If you went through top to bottom, our team, our strength is going to be the normal strength, which is we have a lot of speed. We got a lot of guys that can run, but we actually got a lot of big guys as well this year. But we don't have a lot of lineman depth on either side. So if we can stay healthy, we're going to be pretty good, in my opinion.
I've never had a coach tell me that he could ever have too many offensive and defensive linemen.
Oh, you can't do it. But this is extreme thin. We lost a lot. We lost our whole defensive front. And then O-line, we got about half of them back, but it's just difficult. We're gonna have to get some guys go both ways, and that's tough. But I do feel better doing that at the 5A level than the 6A level.
Sure. Now you mentioned depth, and you will need some depth in your district. I feel like your district, especially at the top, is as good as any. It can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the state of Texas in 5A Division I with Red Oak, Midlothian, Lake Belton. And I think Killeen Ellison was really underrated last year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. It's a really good district at the top. You got to come to if those games were all very competitive, very close games last year, and you lose the wrong game, and you're looking at a 4 seed instead of a 1 seed, right? I mean, every game in your district's big, right?
Well, and that's what happened to us last year. We ended up in a 3-way tie, and we were 8-2. We lost to Midlothian by 4, and we lost to Red Oak by 3. And I ended up in Aledo in the first round. That's not the norm. Yeah. That's not normal. But it just tells you how tough our district was. I'll tell you another team to keep an eye on, and their head coach, Josh Sadler's done a great job, and that's the Killeen Kangaroos. He's done a really good job there. I've known Josh for a long time. Glad to see him get a head coaching job. Just stay away from me. I'll be rooting for him except for our game,
Exactly.
But they're going to be trouble. And you're right. Last year, Ellison's defense was as good of a defense as we played. Aledo was really good as well. But Ellison really made it tough on you because their front, what they could do with their front and their back end, it was impressive, and they had depth. And
how much better? Obviously, Killeen ISD opened up another high school recently, Chaparral High School. Got y'all a second stadium now. So how much easier has that been scheduling wise? Not as many Thursday. It doesn't look like as many Thursday games in Killeen anymore.
It
That's a good thing.
It is a good thing. I kind of like Thursdays sometimes, but we only play on 2 Thursdays, which is a lot better than 4 or 5. You're right. There is 2 stadiums now. We are waiting for the day that there'll be a Shoemaker Stadium.
Okay.
That was kind of in the works before COVID, and then things
changed.
They changed, and we understood that, but we still. Those are the 2 furthest away from us, so it still takes us 20 minutes to get to a home game, And I always joke with some of our people that are in administration is because we are allowed to feed the kids if we go outside of Killeen ISD. So when I go to Cove, I'm able to feed our kids, and that stadium's closer than Leo Buckley or
there you go.
or Seals Stadium. I'm like that.
How far is Cove from you? 10 minutes?
Oh yeah, 10 maybe, and then it takes me 20 to get across town to Buckley or Seals Stadium.
Okay.
Have you been to the new stadium?
I have not. How nice? Is it nice? Nice place?
Yeah,
nice
it is nice. It's really nice.
And Buckley's nice. I like going to Buckley. They do a great job at Buckley.
Buckley's a good. So we will play Red Oak and we will play Lake Belton at Leo Buckley this year.
Okay.
Both those games, and they'll both be Friday games. Just hint, hint.
There you go, right? I think you're undefeated when I show up.
Everything's good. When he's around, if you were on my staff, we would never lose a game.
I think, look, I'll wait for the job offer, Coach. Send me the offer letter, right? I mean, at this, with some of the coaching shortages, I might be getting one, right? I mean, I don't know too much, but I'll learn. I'll shut up and I'll do the laundry. How about that? There you go.
That works.
Now, looking at coaching school, you're the son of a coach. You've been to these things. How many? Have you counted how many coaching schools you've been to?
Well, because I'm close to getting the plaque. This is my 20. This is going into year 23. But I was a member right before that, so this might be the year I can get my 25-year plaque. But as far as
when you were a kid, I bet you were coming with your dad.
Oh yeah, no. So I'm 45. I've been to at least 40 coaching schools.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't miss many. When we were a little bitty, Mom was bringing us. And so I said this before, one of the big deals with me and my sister when we would come here is we get to pick a shirt. They had this one guy that he had like 1 million shirts and had all these, go hard or go home, all these different sayings. And so we look forward to that every year. But just the tradition, and I've seen how this has grown. And, I do miss being in Austin sometimes, and Fort Worth really sometimes. But we like having it in Houston and San Antonio. It's good. These are good atmospheres. There's so many more coaches now, it seems like, they're participating, and that's what you want. The THSCA has done a good job, and just
getting the other sports involved too, right?
Exactly. Getting the kids involved, and it's just it's really awesome. I was disappointed when they did away with the All-Star game a long time ago, many years ago, and but they've transitioned to something that this is really special event, and it's an event. It's not just a convention.
No, it's an event. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, it really is.
And when you were a kid, I've heard coaches' kids tell me this. Their summer vacation was going to coaching school.
Yeah, that's what.
Is that what?
So our summer vacation, and that's how Coach Danaher at Cal Allen. I know Brittany, West, and Cody. Coach Brow's kids. I mean, as coaches' kids, we all know each other, and luckily, I was at a traditionally good school growing up at West Orange Stark, and so the coaches there, they had kids, So we went to coaching school was one vacation, and then San Angelo. We would always go to. It hurt my heart this year that they didn't have San Angelo in person.
Yeah.
The coaching clinic out there, and but that was our trips, and leaving Orange, Texas, and driving all the way to San Angelo.
It's like a different world.
We would stay in Brady. And then that first night, and then we would make the trip the rest of the way. But that's something that we look forward to as a family. And, Coach Hooks was always good about allowing our families to come.
Okay.
And so it was a family atmosphere. And yeah, you're right. That was our vacations for the year. That was it.
I know your dad obviously is a great coach, and he worked there with Coach Hooks. And Coach Hooks there at West Orange Stark is such a legend. Now that because when he coached, you were a kid and probably didn't understand kind of all that he did. Now that you're older and have more maturity, and you can look back, what made Coach Hooks a special coach?
Because I played for him and then I coached for him and then I got elevated and I was a coordinator. But I will tell you, he was a player's coach. He was a player's coach, and we wanted to win for him because we knew how much he cared about us. And he always told me this. He said, once you become a head football coach, I'm going to give you a good amount of advice, and it's not going to take very long. He said, coach them hard and love them harder. And, that's one thing, but now working for him, I will tell you this story. We're getting ready to play Bridge City. It was my second year as a coordinator. Or one of those years I was an offense coordinator for him, and we had never lost to Bridge City. West Orange Stark had never. He did not like Bridge City. I think he applied for a job there one time. They didn't interview him or something. So he didn't like Bridge City. And so he calls me in. Now, mind you, my quarterback has passed away this year. Reggie Garrett had died. My dad had a blood clot, and he was in the hospital. So all this happened within a month. So we're getting ready to play Bridge City, and they're pretty good. And he calls me in his office, and he says, Toby, he says, I just want to make you aware of some history. We've never lost to Bridge City. He said, but we've lost to Little Cypress Mauricefield twice, and both times I had to get rid of the offense coordinator. He said, have a good game, okay? And so, man, I'm like, what? And keep in mind now, my dad and Coach Hooks started together, or my dad linked up with Coach Hooks at Lamar University in the 70s. They came to West Orange Stark when the school opened in 77. The doctor when I was born is his brother-in-law. So I'm connected to this man my whole life. And so he tells me that, and I'm going, oh, my God. So we won the game 28-0. But I called my offense staff together. I said, hey, man, we're simplifying this game plan. We are running the ball. We are not throwing it unless we have to. I think we threw 5 passes, completed them all. We rushed for about 400 yards, but we won that game. But I was like, man, he's intense. You know,
Yeah.
He knows what to say to get the best out of you.
There you go. And that's pushing those right buttons. You gotta know what buttons to push,
You
right?
pushed the right one that day.
There you go.
You pushed the right one.
Well, final let you out here. It's got to be nice, you know, being a West Orange Stark guy. Shoemaker's colors pretty similar to West Orange, so it doesn't feel weird putting on that navy, does it?
No, you know, well, I got black on today, but so navy blue and silver is something I've been a part of my whole life, and it just is ironic. I didn't even know what their colors were. Coming from Central, you know, at Beaumont
They're
Central,
maroon,
we were burgundy and silver, and I really I leaned on that silver hard when we were at Central, but when I got to Shoemaker, I was like, okay, so we have a couple different helmets, but our traditional helmet is a silver hat, you know, and so at West Orange Stark, the deal was, you know, you earn that silver hat, it means you're on the varsity. So the kids have white helmets until they make, the varsity, and then the day after our last scrimmage, we meet as a staff. We vote on who goes to, the varsity and who stays up and who stays down. And then we put those logos and those silver hats in our helmets, and that means something. It's special just like it was at West Orange Stark. I can remember the first day I got my silver hat, and that was a big deal. And I want to bring that tradition. I have brought that tradition to Killeen.
There you go. Well, Coach, we'll let you get to it. Congrats on all the success there at Shoemaker. Good luck in 2023, and appreciate what you do for student athletes in the state of Texas.
Thank you, Matt, and go Gray Wolves.
There you go.